The hits keep coming for the Commonwealth Bank. Last night, the bank admitted it lost the financial statements of nearly 20 million accounts.
The bank says, however, they didn't contain any PINs or passwords, but it has increased monitoring of accounts just in case there is any suspicious activity.
They say no one's compromised, but at the moment, trust and confidence in the Commonwealth Bank is at an all-time low.
Well, banks have always operated as trustworthy organisations, and these reports just hit at the heart of trust, safety and confidence in our banking institutions.
The Commonwealth Bank's latest fiasco is shaping up to be the largest data breach by a financial institution in Australia.
Customers weren't told at the time, and many will be wanting to know why.
Today we've learned about the loss of 19.8 million customer records over a 16-year period of names, account holders, details and addresses. And it's very, very serious when you think about those account holders and what it could mean to their identity.
Back in 2016, CommBank used subcontractor Fuji Xerox to store customer data, a common practice in banking.
Certainly the relationship that we have with Fuji Xerox is typical of the industry. They work with us to do printing of statements for our customers, and the use of expert data destruction firms to ensure that drives, tapes, etc. have been fully and completely destroyed is normal practice as well.
2 magnetic tape drives containing millions of customer bank statements, complete with names, addresses and transaction histories spanning the years from 2000 to 2016, were to be loaded onto a truck and sent to a secure destruction centre.
I know the Commonwealth Bank is a large institution with a lot of customers, but to have so many customer details, call it in one place on one tape drive, I find to be quite baffling from a risk management perspective.
But there was no record of the tapes arriving at the facility, and to this day, they haven't been recovered.
We launched our own internal investigation and an investigation using independent forensic experts to track down what had happened to the tapes. The work that was undertaken, which was incredibly detailed and literally with a fine-tooth comb, went over every metre of the path that those tapes should have taken. The conclusion at the end of that work is that they were most likely destroyed.
The big question is why the bank chose to conceal the bungle from its customers until the media broke the story.
Great, they told the Privacy Commissioner, but they should have told all affected customers and indeed the public in general to be aware of this. And their follow-up communications that have come out now are really quite substandard and don't really give consumers any actionable response on what to do.
This happened 2 years ago in May 2016. Why are we learning about this now from journalists and not from the bank at the time?
We obviously gave consideration to should we inform customers. We undertook a very comprehensive investigation using forensic experts. We disclosed this to the relevant regulatory bodies at the time so that they could have purview over the steps that we've taken and to ensure that it met their expectations. The feedback from them at the time was that no further steps were required from their side. And on the balance of all of that, obviously weighing up the need for transparency and desiring not to cause undue concern for customers, we decided the most appropriate course of action was to not communicate it. With the benefit of hindsight, perhaps it would have been better for us to have communicated it.
I think the protocols were in place, and I think the process as it was worked. They contacted the regulator, they initiated a forensic audit through KPMG and followed up quite diligently, and at the end concluded that there was no way to tell whether the tapes had actually been disposed of. So I think the process worked.
Alison Parks specialises in accounting and data analytics and says that while CommBank followed due process, its customers still had a right to know.
I mean, I was a CBA customer at the time, and I think about it now, I probably would have wanted to have known that that breach occurred. So yeah, maybe there was a duty of care to disclose to customers.
This is an extraordinary blunder. It's hard to imagine how so much data could be lost in this way. What we've seen is across the financial services sector and in banks, insurance companies, in wealth advisors. We've seen a failure of culture where the customer has not been put first.
According to the Pecuniary Interests Register, there are 72 federal politicians who are Commonwealth Bank customers, which means they too may have been caught up in the breach.
What you'd be concerned about in those circumstances is the transactional data. If you had a politician maybe spending money in ways or in places where they weren't meant to be, yes, definitely the possibility opens that they could be subject to blackmail attempts.
As well as dealing another blow to the Commonwealth Bank's reputation, experts warn the lost data has the potential to cause untold damage.
If you're looking to launder money, move it electronically through bank accounts, what's really gold standard is a valid inactive account, because that account's already been set up, it's already passed all the regulatory requirements to create the account, it exists, so you can transact through it and wash your money through it.
Should this information fall into the hands of criminals, identity theft and takeover is the likely response. Such criminals that we're going to want to monetise their activity and monetise it as quickly and as easily as possible.
Why should customers continue to trust you with their data?
Oh, look, you know, I appreciate that trust is something that needs to be earned, and that this episode, does not earn trust, and that on the back of this, we will need to demonstrate to customers through all of our actions that the right steps are being taken to maintain their data privacy